Hi, how are you? Welcome to Mel's Mindful Musings. Talking to you in the afternoon here. The sun's just moved around, it's just really lovely. Just enjoying sitting watching the grass being blown about by the breeze. And the fascination I was watching the wind ripple through a hedge, moving all the leaves. Very mindful exercise to just sit and look around you and just sort of focus on what's there. Watching the wind move plants and trees really brings you to such a state of peace and balance if you let it. And I found myself so content. It brings me into such a state of pleasure with what is right now. Just how amazing if we just stop and look around us. Calms my heart, my mind. And then I'm in such a better place to then move forward. Or just stay sitting, whichever you prefer. Do you remember back in 2012, I think the date was the 21st of December 2012, and there's a lot of talk about the Mayan calendar coming to an end and that it was the end of the world. And I remember having a conversation with some people saying, well, tell you what, why don't you spend the day before writing down how satisfied you are with your life to date, of all the things that you've done, and what you may do differently, what you wish you could have changed, how you wish you might have behaved better or different, chances you might have taken that you felt you'd missed. And then when you wake up on the morning of the 21st of December, apologise if that's not the right date, but that's my memory to that one, then set in motion all those things that you wish you'd done differently, wish you'd achieved, wish you'd set out on. Because getting into that mindset allows you to take a good review of where you're at and now make changes. Don't spend another day where you're saying, oh my goodness, I wish I'd done this, and I wish I'd done that, and I wish I'd behaved differently. Because it was so perfect for this question this morning. If this was my last day, would I be satisfied with my life? What would I have done differently? And that brought to mind that exact situation. And I remember at the time saying, do you know what? If I was to go tomorrow, I feel content. I'm not somebody that necessarily strives to travel the world or do huge, great things. But I do pursue what I feel is the right path for me whenever I can. And I fall over, maybe after a few bruises, pick myself up again. And then I think, am I content? Have I done everything I felt I could do to fulfill what I perceive as my purpose here? With my new role of being a celebrant, one of the parts of that is to officiate over funerals and write a eulogy for somebody, a blessing for somebody's life, looking back over who they were. And I prefer to do that over who they really were, not necessarily a chronological list of everything they did. And I don't necessarily see that as, it's part of the life, but not the be all and end all. I like to see, I see those as like what we do as jobs and what we pursue as maybe the outward part of the journey, but it's how we are as an individual, how our authentic self is living out through those, see them as the vehicles by which we live out our life, our authentic self, or not, depending on how important that is to be authentic and to find our way maybe towards that. Maybe that is the whole purpose of life. And So when I'm doing that, one of the questions that might be asked is, how would I want people to remember me when I'm no longer here? Or asking about the person who may have passed. So I think that's a wonderful question that I've asked myself. How would I want people to remember me? If you'd like people to remember you as kind and giving, or someone that did fall over and get back up again and keep going, or perhaps someone that was there for their family, someone that kept their promises, whatever it is. I don't find that a morbid question that I was asking myself, because what it helps me do in thinking that there is a finality to something, it helps me to bring it totally into the moment right now, and to really I dropped that, and to really just review. And if I was to ask myself that question, would I be content? If the question is no, if the answer, is no, then maybe it's time to make a difference and change it from this moment. Because how's this for a statement? What lies behind you and what lies in front of you pales in comparison to what lies inside of you. And I found the need to write the word now in big letters. What lies inside of you now. So we can look to the future and keep wishing. We don't know what really tomorrow brings. I help people to see that, but it changes if we change. From this moment we can make a change, and tomorrow the path changes with it by just making a change in our decisions of how we want to live our life. So what is within us now? Such massive, huge potential. Not living in the past. Make the review, but not living there, reviewing what we've done and then deciding how we want to be now, today. But not living there in a place of regret. That type of review isn't about regretting. It's about reviewing. Where have I been? What have I done? And what do I want to change as I move forward? Because this as well, it was just fabulous today. Do what you can with what you have and where you are. One of my favourite sayings, which I've told you before, is I am always, the mantra I use, I am always in the right place at the right time doing the right thing. We have all that potential within us right now to just live the life how we want to. And again, don't misunderstand me for that. I don't mean all of a sudden, because people often then home in on material things for that. But I mean, do we want to be the person that we envisage? So do we need to drop some behaviours or adapt them or change them? Do we need to be kinder? Maybe sometimes we should say at the end of every day, how kind have I been today? How loving have I been today? To myself and to others. So I really like that. That is a good place, I think, that I will be using again and again. If this was my last day, would I be satisfied with my life? For me, I'm not saying there aren't other things I want to do or change. We're within very difficult circumstances, could be health problems, but I look at how I face those every day to get up and make the most of it, even when I'm feeling like I just want to pull the covers back over my head. So for me, yes, I'm pleased with my life so far. And I know I have much much, much more to create and live for. But as I bring it into today and watch the breeze through the grass and the leaves, listen to the chickens and the cockerel crowing, and I just think, what a beautiful world, that I have so much to be grateful for, so much more than so many. Anyway, I'll leave it there. It's food for thought, isn't it? So I hope you have a wonderful day. Be well, and I'll see you soon.